Hello and welcome back to Bookish and welcome back to my Saturday Hodgepodge. This week I have a really short Hodgepodge for you. It's going to be Christmas Day when this video is posted, so if you're watching it, it may very well be Christmas Day. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to your families and to you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, we are Christmas celebrators. As you can see from the picture I put on the show card is of our Christmas tree in our Christmas tree area. But I just want to wish the best of the season. Happy holidays to everybody. I also want to say thank you to everybody who subscribes to my channel and who watches my videos. I passed the 3,000 subscriber mark last week, I think, sometime around last week. And I just want to tell you how much I appreciate all of you and how much I appreciate this community. Whether you make videos of your own and I follow and watch your channel, whether you make videos and I don't yet follow or watch your channel, whether you comment on my channel and watch and never comment, I just want to say thank you. This has been a far more rewarding experience being on BookTube than I had imagined it would be. I imagined it would be fun, a place where I could talk about books and share my ideas. I had no idea it would be a place where I actually made friends with people who have similar interests and where I learned so much. So it has been all of that, and I want to thank you all of that. Thank you all for all of that and for supporting my channel. Just real quickly, I wanted to run through the books I've read this week. I finished one book. I'll actually finish the second book by the time you see this video. The book that I finished is Loat by Shola von Reinhold. They are a trans author, and this book was just so much fun and so, I thought, delightful and well done and inventive and clever and meaningful. It does have a chance, I think, to make it into my top 10 books of the year. I haven't quite worked out that list yet, but it may well make it there. I'm still kind of thinking about the book's strengths and weaknesses, but I will say that this was just a great deal of fun. It's kind of a campus novel, kind of a dark academia novel, but it also is a novel about the people in our society who oftentimes are discriminated against and downtrodden and impoverished, and about how those people have always been there. If the book has, and the book definitely has a theme, the book's theme is that people of color and members of the LGBTQ community have been around throughout Western civilization, have been contributing to Western civilization from the very beginning, and even though their contributions are oftentimes overlooked or sometimes, as the book implies, downright erased, they have always been there. And while that may seem like a heavy-handed theme, please don't let that put you off if you're not a theme reader, because I promise you, it is woven into the story in such a seamless and, I think, fairly perfect and powerful way that I don't think that even if you're theme averse in your literature, that you're going to be offended by this. I just think the book was really, really clever and well done. The story of the book is told in kind of a fairly straightforward narrative form, but then interspersed there are actually other texts which are so, I think, convincingly written, for me at least. I had to look one of them up to see if it was a real book, and I'll let you do that for yourself. But segments from that text are interspersed here, as well as letters or diary accounts from other people, and it's just really well done. I thought it was really strong. I felt like the ending felt a little bit not quite as good or quite as tidy as I wanted it to be, but just a really enjoyable read, and I really had fun reading it, and I would recommend this book to anybody. The second book, and the book that I will finish by the time you're seeing this, is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I've been reading this book with David, who is the husband of Hannah from Hannah's books, and that's just been a really rewarding and enriching experience. His insights in the book have just been amazing and have caused me to see things I wouldn't have seen. I will say that from my point of view, as somebody who enjoys stream of consciousness writing such as it is, whether it's Joyce or Faulkner, I think that Virginia Woolf may have achieved the best example of stream of consciousness writing here in Mrs. Dalloway. Her touch is so deft and so light that, and yet so precise that there are very few of those moments when you wonder, whose head am I in, who's thinking this, and what does this mean? And you just literally move from consciousness to consciousness, such it was, relatively easily and smoothly. And the novel is at once incredibly powerful and I'm just going to say sad, and at the same time, it captures, I think, really well the vibrancy of life in London, which I know from reading Square Haunting that Virginia Woolf really liked. And this is just a great book. I don't see any way this doesn't make it into my top 10, which means that once again my top 10 is going to be dominated by books I read in January and books that I read in December. That just seems to be the way it goes for me. I also started reading American Pastoral by Philip Roth this week, and I have to be honest with you, this has not been an easy read for me. I actually thought about DNFing around page 75 or 80. I decided to push on to the 100-page mark, and in that time span, over those pages, I finally became what I felt like was really engaged in the text, in the book. I will tell you, it is a shock to read a novel, written by an author I think is usually classified as one of the mid-century misogynists. While I haven't noticed too much extraordinary misogyny in the novel, I will say there is an inwardness, an inward reflection and obsessive examination in the book that really feels in transitioning from a book like Loat to a book like American Pastoral has been a bit of a shock. It has made the book a bit of a slog. At various points in time, I just want to say, okay, yeah, I got it. Let's go move on. Let's stop obsessing about all these details. But, it reminded me that really is a lot of what those authors who, won major prizes and were recognized as great authors during that time period, Updike, Bellow, Mailer, Roth, I think, being the youngest of the group, what they were really known for was that kind of self-obsessed, inward male kind of gaze and examination of things. And maybe American Pastoral is unusual in that respect for Roth's work. The only other thing by Roth I've ever read is Goodbye Columbus, which is his first work. I don't have a lot of memories of that, but it has been really a shift. And just kind of thinking along, I've been talking a lot about generational reading and generational differences. It's a big generational shift to go from Loat to American Pastoral, and I noticed it, and it took me back in ways to my prior reading that have not always been pleasant. But I will say the story has become far more engaging. I still have a lot of the same thoughts I had about it. I'm only about halfway through. I should finish that up sometime next week. And then I will, before I do that, I will also start Assassin's Apprentice, the first book in the Farseer trilogy by Rob and Hobb. That's my last planned read for this month, and I will get started on that as well. The only thing I want to do is I plan on going out this evening and filming some of the Christmas decorations. Since I live in a fairly affluent, middle-classy neighborhood, shouldn't surprise you to know that there are a lot of people who go all out with Christmas decorations in their yard. And sometimes I think it's fun to film the wretched excess of the commercialism of Christmas in my neighborhood, and I'm going to share that with you now. And if I don't go out and film, you'll never see this, and I'll just say my usual. So if you see the Christmas lights, they'll come now, but I'll go ahead and say I look forward to your comments in the comment section below, and as always, thank you for watching.